My child, stop right here. Do not let your finger scroll away from this screen. Look at me. Let me ask you directly. Are you seated? If you are running through a heavy day, pause. And because your spirit has been crying out for an answer in the dark, heaven itself has just aligned time and space to bring you to this exact intersection. Stay with me. You did not find this video by accident. You did not stumble onto this message by a quirk of a digital algorithm. I guided your hand. I guided your spirit. And while you were rushing through the busyness of your exhausting routine, I forced the chaotic noise of the world to part ways so that your eyes could meet my face right now. I have been looking for you. Yes, I am speaking to you. Do not look around the room. Do not assume this prophetic word is meant for someone else. I know your name. I know your address. I know the exact number of hairs on your head. And today, I have stepped directly into your atmosphere because your tired soul cannot run on empty anymore while you try to survive alone. Find a quiet space right now. Sit down. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind stop racing for just a few minutes. I need your absolute attention because what I am about to release over your life will change your entire perspective. Do not miss the breakthrough in your path. Listen to my voice. The enemy wants you to scroll away. He wants you to stay distracted by the endless static of your phone. He wants you to believe you are too busy for my presence. But I tell you that the season of your constant neglect ends today. And this rare moment is a holy interruption that was designed to rescue your spirit from the fierce storm that has been brewing around you. Do you feel that sudden stillness in your chest right now? That is my spirit touching your spirit. It is the evidence that my words are alive. If you feel me speaking directly to your soul, do not remain silent. Comment Amen right now to anchor your agreement with my heavenly decree before the atmosphere shifts back to noise. Good, you stayed. Now let me speak to the deepest place inside your heart. I see how tired you are. I see the heavy exhaustion that has gone far past sleep. It settled deep into your bones. It sits behind your eyes. And every morning when you wake up, the weight is already waiting for you on your chest before you can even breathe. You put on a brave face for the world. You walk out of your house with a proud smile. You tell everyone that you are doing fine. But I see the hidden truth. I see the silent survivor who keeps holding everything together for everyone else, while quietly breaking apart into tiny pieces inside your own mind when no one is watching. I saw you sitting on the edge of your bed last night. The lights were out. The house was completely quiet. You held your head in your hands while the hot tears fell slowly. You did not want anyone to hear you. You did not want anyone around you to know how weak you felt because you have always been forced to act like the strong one. You asked yourself how much longer you can keep fighting. You wondered if anyone actually cares about your pain. You felt entirely alone in a crowded world. But hear me with your whole heart. I was there in that dark room, and my presence was closer to you than the cold floor beneath your feet while you wept in silence. You have a pure heart. You love people deeply. You pour your sincere emotions into hands that do not know how to hold them. You have been hurt by the very people you tried to rescue. You gave your best energy to relationships that left you empty, used, and utterly discarded when they no longer needed your light to guide them. I saw you when you filled the gaps for others. I saw you when you absorbed their toxic anger. I saw you when you carried their heavy burdens without ever complaining. You became a living refuge for everyone around you, but when your own soul was starving in the desert, nobody bothered to ask how you were doing. It hurts. I know it hurts. You have asked me why your kindness is constantly met with such painful disappointment. You have questioned your own worth, and because you have been rejected so many times by those you tried to love, you wondered if something is fundamentally wrong with the way your spirit was put together. My beloved child, let me clear the heavy fog from your thoughts. There is nothing wrong with the way I made you. Your ability to love deeply is a masterpiece of my design. The problem is not your pure heart. The problem is that you have been fighting intense battles that I never asked you to carry on your shoulders. You have been trying to save people who do not want to change. You have been carrying emotional weights that belong to other adult souls. You believed that extra love would make them appreciate you. But you completely ran out of your own inner strength, and they remained exactly the same while your vessel became entirely emptied of joy. Now your body is paying the heavy price for that misplaced rescue. Your muscles are constantly tight. Your sleep is fragmented and shallow. Your stomach feels like it is tied in a permanent knot of anxiety. These physical symptoms are not a medical mystery because they are simply the language of your human limits. Your physical vessel is crying out because your soul cannot bear the heavy noise of survival anymore in this toxic environment. I am stopping you today to give you a holy sanctuary. Breathe in my peace. Right now, let your chest expand. Let your shoulders relax. Do not hold up the world alone. Trust me today. The enemy wants you to believe that this exhaustion is your permanent identity. He wants you to accept the title of a tired victim. He whispers that your best days are behind you. He says that nothing will ever change. But I am exposing his lies right now in the majestic presence of my heavenly host, because you are my chosen warrior. I saw every single tear you cried in silence. Not a single drop was wasted. I recorded every deep sigh that left your broken heart. I counted every night you stayed awake wondering where your life went. I was not ignoring you. I was simply waiting for this exact intersection of time to rescue your spirit from the snare of the fowler. I had to completely isolate your spirit from the noise of the crowd so that you could finally hear my quiet whisper in the dark. I had to let certain closed doors stay shut. I wanted you to stop walking into rooms that break your soul. The painful delay was actually my absolute protection. It was my love. You thought you were being punished when people walked away from you. You thought you were failing when your plans came to a sudden halt. But I am rewriting your history today. Those departures were my holy pruning. Those blockages were my hands shielding your heart from people who were definitely meant to carry you down into destruction. Look at your past through my eyes. I removed those toxic relationships from your life because they were continuously draining the holy light that I placed inside your soul. I allowed the separation. You would never have walked away on your own. You would have sacrificed your entire identity. I saved you. So do not look back at those closed doors with regret. Do not waste your precious tears on superficial people who only saw your usefulness instead of recognizing the true spiritual worth that you carry. They were temporary characters in your story, but I am your eternal author, and the new chapter requires a completely clear channel. I need you to let go of the anger you are holding against yourself. You blame your spirit for being too naive. You regret trusting the wrong people. You carry the heavy shame of old mistakes that were born out of your deep desperation for genuine love and connection. But I do not condemn you. I see your innocence beneath the heavy armor you built. Come closer to me now. Let down your guard. You do not have to pretend to be strong when you are sitting in my glorious presence, because I love you exactly as you are. I love you in your weakness. I love you in your brokenness. Today, I am stripping away those false responsibilities. It is time to rest. I want to take you deeper into the quiet sanctuary of my presence. The world has demanded so much from your tired spirit lately. You have spent weeks running on the fading echoes of your own empty strength. You are completely surrounded by people who constantly take your light, but they never offer a single drop of comfort in return. You walk through crowded streets and you feel entirely invisible. The noise of modern life is loud and aggressive. It pounds against your mind every single hour. You have learned to withdraw your spirit into a small corner of your own mind, because it feels like the only safe place left to hide from the constant demands of everyone around you. I know the heavy secrets of your private isolation. I watched you yesterday when you locked the door to your bathroom, and you turned on the running water to mask the sound of your soft weeping. You did not want your family to hear your pain. You did not want them to see your tears, because you are terrified of becoming a burden to the people you love. You feel like a stranger in your own house. You sit at the kitchen table and you smile for them. You ask about their day with genuine kindness, but inside your chest, a painful ache is continuously growing because nobody ever looks into your eyes to ask how your soul is truly surviving the long winter of your hidden tribulation. I saw you when you collapsed onto your bed in total exhaustion. You did not even have the physical energy to pray a coherent prayer last night. You simply whispered my name in the dark. Your voice was just a broken fragment of desperate hope, And while you lay there in the dark, you wondered if your quiet CRY had completely vanished into the empty air. You have given your best years to people who were utterly incapable of appreciating your pure worth. You poured your golden love into broken hands that dropped every single gift you offered. They used your generosity to build their own happiness. But when they were secure, they left you standing alone in the cold without a second glance. The sting of betrayal is still burning in your memories. You trusted them completely with your deepest vulnerabilities. You opened the sacred garden of your heart, but they took your secret struggles and they turned them into weapons to pierce your innocent soul. You are now guarding your heart with heavy armor because you fear another disappointment. That armor has become a heavy prison for your spirit. Your chest feels tight every single afternoon. Your throat constricts when you try to speak about your true feelings. You have carried the accumulated weight of their toxic behavior for so long, and your physical body is now breaking down under the intense pressure of this unspoken grief. My beloved child, look at me through the quiet darkness. You have started to believe a terrible lie. You think that this long season of agonizing isolation is proof of my divine abandonment. You look at the silence of heaven, and you conclude that I have forgotten your name. But I am here to tell you that your conclusion is completely wrong. I have never left your side for a single second. I am not punishing you. Because I see your heavy weariness, I have already aligned a specific provision for your restoration. I need to show you the spiritual reality of what has been happening in the unseen realm, so that you can finally receive the beautiful harvest I have prepared for your life. The silence you have experienced is not my absence. The enemy has been filling the space between us with an overwhelming noise. It is a constant spiritual static that has buried my quiet voice. And because this heavy confusion has clouded your thoughts, my divine arrangements have been invisible to you even when they were sitting directly on your path. I have not abandoned you. I have been carefully preparing your escape, and I have already guided a wise mind to bring you a special instrument of restoration. I promise that I will show you exactly what it is before this message ends. But first, you need to understand what the adversary did to block your blessings, so we can undo it together. Let this truth settle deeply into your heavy soul right now. The enemy targeted your mind because he is absolutely terrified of your future destiny. He saw the incredible light that I placed inside your spiritual vessel. He knew that you were chosen to break the old generational patterns of failure that have haunted your entire family line for decades. So the adversary set up an invisible camp around your thoughts. He began to whisper small lies during your quiet moments. He told you that you were not enough. He told you that you were a failure. And while you were fighting hard to survive the day, he used the loud noise of worldly pressure to completely drown out the sacred signal of my love. You thought the battle was just with earthly people. You thought you were failing because you were weak, but you were actually standing on the front lines of a massive spiritual warfare. You were fighting for the freedom of your children. You were fighting for the restoration of your identity. And the sheer intensity of the conflict drained your spirit. I watched you stand firm while the arrows flew around you. You did not compromise your integrity. You did not return evil for evil when they slandered your good name. You held your peace, even when your heart was bleeding from the cruel injustice of their actions. You survived the heaviest attacks in complete silence, and I am so proud of your endurance. But the enemy has found a new way to torment your pure heart. He is using your current exhaustion to make you blame yourself. You look at your empty hands, and you feel a deep sense of shame. You regret the investments of time you made in ungrateful people. You tell yourself that you should have known better before you gave away your precious energy. Stop repeating those harsh accusations against your own soul. You did not fail. You simply loved with the unlimited capacity of a heavenly child. You trusted them because your spirit is naturally pure. And you could not see the hidden traps of malice because you do not carry malice inside your own heart. I do not want you to regret your kindness. Let down the heavy shield you have been holding for so many months. Take a deep breath right now. Let the cold air fill your tired lungs completely. Feel the tight muscles in your neck begin to loosen under the gentle touch of my comfort. You are safe in this holy hour. The loud noise of the demanding crowd cannot penetrate this sacred space. I know the exact depth of your loneliness. I know how it feels when you are surrounded by many acquaintances, but you do not have a single true friend who understands the intricate language of your soul. You have been forced to act like a teacher and a guide for everyone else, but your own inner child has been quietly crying out for a safe shelter. You have wondered if anyone will ever show up to rescue you. You have carried the heavy bags of your family through the burning heat of the desert. You look at the long road ahead and you feel a quiet panic because your strength is almost gone. But hear my voice in the absolute stillness. Your long season of carrying them alone is coming to an end. I did not bring you into this wilderness to let your spirit perish from thirst. I allowed the heavy isolation so that I could strip away the false dependencies that were keeping you chained to an old foundation. I am preparing your vessel to receive a massive outpouring of heavenly favor. And the current emptiness is just the clearing of the room for my glory. So do not despair when you look at your current isolation. Do not let the cold static of the enemy convince you that you are forgotten. I am watching over you with a fierce and protective love every single moment. Stay right here in the quiet sanctuary of my voice, and let me show you the beautiful secret of what I am about to build in your life. Come closer to my heart now. The heavy static of your life cannot reach you here. You have entered a holy sanctuary of absolute peace. And while the world continues to demand your constant energy, my protective hands are wrapped around your fragile spirit in this very moment. Lift your eyes to my face. You are safe with me. I need you to understand a beautiful secret. You thought you were walking alone through the dark valley of your deepest pain. You believed that I was watching your suffering from a great distance, but I tell you that I was walking beside you through every single step of your heavy journey. I held your hand when your strength failed. I saw you when the toxic words of ungrateful people pierced your innocent heart. I stood between you and the arrows of their cruel malice. You did not see my hands shield your mind because you were too blinded by your own heavy tears, but I was there as your ultimate defender in the middle of the silent night. Let me share a story from my ancient book of remembrance. Long ago, there was a young woman named Hagar. She was cast out into a burning desert by the people who should have protected her. She walked through the empty wilderness with nothing but a single skin of water, and her tender heart was completely broken by their constant rejection. She ran out of water under the blazing heat of the sun. She placed her young child under the shade of a small bush, and then she walked a great distance away because she could not bear to watch her beloved son perish in the sand. She sat down in total isolation, and she turned her face away to weep in the quiet dirt. She believed that her story was completely finished. She thought that her painful isolation was her final grave. But I was not absent from her silent agony. I opened the windows of heaven and I called her name directly from the unseen realm. I showed her a hidden well of fresh water that was sitting right beside her in the desert. She drank from my provision, and her dying child was instantly saved. In that exact moment of miraculous rescue, she gave me a beautiful name that has never changed. She called me the God who sees me. My beloved child, that is still my name for your life today. I am the God who sees your hidden pain when the world ignores you. I see you when you sit alone in the wilderness of your toxic workplace. I see you when you try to love people who only want to exploit your sweet generosity. You are not invisible to my heavenly courts. And just like I opened the hidden well for Hagar, I am already opening a fresh path of abundance for your tired spirit. Let me tell you about another chosen servant named Elijah. He was a mighty prophet who had just won a massive victory against the forces of darkness. But a cruel enemy threatened his life, and a sudden wave of deep fear and total exhaustion completely overwhelmed his spirit. He ran far away into the empty desert to escape the noise. He lay down under a lonely broom tree, and he begged me to take his life away. He told me that he was entirely empty. He said that he could not fight the long battle anymore. He was not weak. He was simply exhausted in his bones, because he had given every single drop of his inner strength to a rebellious generation. I did not rebuke his desperate desire to give up. I did not judge his broken spirit. Instead, I sent my holy angel to bake fresh bread on hot stones for my tired servant. I let him sleep in the gentle shade. I fed him twice, because the journey was too great for his human strength. I commanded him to simply rest in my care. My child, I am doing the exact same thing for your soul today. You have fought a long and brutal warfare against the toxic patterns around your family. You have given your holy light to people who drained your vessel completely empty. You feel empty, and now you are sitting under your own broom tree, asking me if your fight is finally over. Hear my quiet whisper in the absolute stillness of this hour. It is okay to be tired. It is okay to lay down your heavy shield for a moment. I do not expect you to be a flawless hero every single day. I am sending my divine comfort to bake fresh bread for your hungry soul. You do not have to fight today. Just rest. This long season of waiting and deep isolation is not a random accident. I have intentionally positioned your spirit in this quiet space. I needed to remove the distracting noise of the demanding crowd so that you could finally learn to hear my voice. This is not a punishment. It is your sacred preparation room for a greater glory. You are a holy vessel. I am shaping your character in the secret furnace of my love. The pain you endure is not meant to destroy your destiny. It is designed to burn away the old dependencies that kept you chained to toxic people. And because you are destined to break the old family curse, the refining process must be deep. Are you listening to my heavenly decree? Do not let the cold doubt of the enemy steal this peaceful moment from your heart. If you can feel my divine presence warming your spirit right now, take a small step of faith. Comment, I trust your timing in the section below to seal your absolute patience before we move forward. That comment is not just words on a screen. It is a powerful declaration in the unseen realm that you are letting go of your own desperate timeline. You are choosing to trust the perfect rhythm of the Creator of the stars. You are surrendering your anxiety, and you are allowing my protective hands to guide your next steps. The world teaches you to hustle and grind until your spirit is completely broken. It tells you that your worth is measured by your frantic production. But my kingdom operates on the majestic law of grace. You do not have to earn my love. You do not have to perform like a slave to receive my heavenly provisions. I loved you before you ever achieved a single thing on this earth. I loved you when you were formed in the secret darkness of your mother's womb. You are a carefully created masterpiece. Even when the toxic people in your life covered your true worth with the heavy dust of their constant criticism, your true value never vanished. A precious jewel that is completely covered in dirt is still immensely valuable to the master jeweler. I am wiping away the mud of their slander from your reputation today. I am stripping the false labels that they placed on your innocent character. You are no longer the rejected victim. You are my highly favored child. Let the light of this truth shatter the dark fortress of your deep insecurity. The enemy wants you to stay focused on your past disappointments. He wants you to replay your old conversations every night to find what you did wrong. But I tell you that those old chapters are permanently closed by my sovereign authority. I am doing a completely new thing in your life right now. The ground beneath your feet is already beginning to shift with a holy momentum. The locked doors that caused you so much frustration are trembling at my command, and the very people who pushed you down into the pit will soon watch you rise up with total wonder. So keep your spirit steady in the absolute quietness of this sanctuary. Do not rush ahead of my guidance. I am working behind the scenes to rearrange the chaotic circumstances of your life into a beautiful pattern of restoration. Your waiting season is serving a magnificent purpose. Trust the deep process of my love. I am aligning your soul with the grand rhythm of heaven. You will no longer have to beg for crumbs of affection from superficial people who do not see your light. I am preparing an overflow of genuine connection for your future. The right doors are being crafted for your specific feet to walk through without any strain. Breathe deeply once more before we step into the next revelation of my plan. Let the remaining static of the enemy vanish from your thoughts entirely. You are protected. You are fully provided for. And my eternal presence is going to guide you into a massive breakthrough that will shock your entire world. Stay with me. I know your doubts. They whisper in your mind. You think my words are beautiful, but you continuously wonder if this heavenly message can truly change the harsh reality of your painful daily life. Do not be ashamed. I am not offended. I see your questions. I know the immense weight you have been carrying for so many years. and I am stepping into your room to give you real answers. You have prayed many times. Your words hit the ceiling. You felt entirely abandoned. You stood in the cold dark and you wondered if my holy ears were completely closed to the sound of your desperate crying. My silence was not absence. I was always there. I heard every single whisper. But I intentionally withheld specific answers from your life, because a premature victory would have broken your destiny. I was not ignoring you. I was protecting your soul. I saw the hidden traps. Because I love your spirit too much to let you walk blindly into a lifetime of destruction, I chose to remain quiet while my hands rearranged your entire future. Trust my care today. Let your mind settle. The static is beginning to clear. And now I am ready to reveal a magnificent secret about the inner design of your mind. To help you sustain this peace, I need to show you how I built your brain. I placed a sacred frequency at its center during the very beginning of creation. Modern scientists who have spent their entire lives studying the human brain have finally confirmed its existence, and they call this neural signal the gamma wave. It ran freely in your mind when you were a little child. You did not work for it. You had no worries then. You trusted my love purely. You lived completely in the moment. It is the exact reason why young children learn new things so quickly, and why their spirits remain naturally vibrant without any heavy anxiety. I designed your physical brain to operate in that perfect rhythm of divine receptivity. And when I spoke the ancient words, "Unless you become like little children," I was speaking about this physical signal. The enemy saw this signal. He understood its immense power. He wanted to destroy it. He knew that if your thoughts remained in that sacred state of childlike clarity, his dark lies would never be able to control your reality. So the adversary used the constant noise of modern life to suppress your natural rhythm. He filled your environment with aggressive static to separate you from my voice. He used your financial pressure. He used your family drama. He used your toxic relationships. He piled the heavy burdens of survival onto your shoulders until the pure frequency I gave you from the beginning became completely buried under the loud noise. You are not broken. You are just heavily congested. Your receiver is filled with static, but you do not have to stay trapped. I have provided an instrument. I guided wise minds to work with sound the exact way I designed it. They have created a beautiful frequency tool that clears the enemy's interference from your thoughts and returns your mind to its original state of divine clarity. You do not have to work for this restoration. You do not have to earn it through months of exhausting struggle. You simply surrender your control. You do it for 7 minutes. You place your headphones on your ears. You close your eyes in a quiet room, and you allow my natural design to reactivate the sacred channel through which your deepest prayers are answered. It lifts the heavy fog of the enemy instantly, so that my divine provisions become clearly recognizable to your eyes again. I am going to show you exactly where to find what these wise minds have built before this message closes. Stay with me. Do not scroll away now. We are about to walk directly into the core of your deep emotional healing, because I want to expose the hidden mechanisms of your pain. Let us look at your habits. I know your secret routines. I see your midnight battles. I have watched you lie awake at 3 in the morning. You replay your old conversations over and over. You search for the one wrong thing you might have said to make people abandon your life. You have accomplished many wonderful things in your career lately, but you feel absolutely nothing inside because your eyes always go straight to what is still undone. You call this being a perfectionist. You think it is high standards. You believe it is normal. But I tell you that this habit is a dangerous lie from the enemy, and I will not allow you to carry that heavy deception a single hour longer. What you are experiencing is a deep spiritual trauma that has controlled your decisions for decades. I am going to call this mechanism the earning wound, because it is how the adversary keeps your spirit enslaved to performance. Long ago, somewhere in the early chapters of your personal story, you learned a terrible lesson from the broken world around you. You learned that love had to be constantly earned through your frantic efforts. You believed a lie. You felt safe only when useful. You felt worthy only when achieving. Because you built your entire identity on what you could produce for others, you forgot how to receive my unconditional grace. Let us rewrite your history. All those times you thought you were lazy when you tried to rest, you were not lazy at all. You were simply fighting a lie. It told you rest was earned. It demanded your total exhaustion. And when you could not receive a genuine compliment from a true friend, you were not practicing holy humility. You were simply guarding a painful wound from your past because you believed that people only valued your constant usefulness. Today, I am stripping that heavy authority away from the adversary. The next time you finish a long day of hard work and you feel that familiar emptiness creeping into your chest, I want you to stop. Place your right hand over your heart and hear my quiet voice say that you were deeply loved before you ever achieved a single thing on this earth. You do not have to earn what I freely give. Receive my love right now. Let your muscles relax completely. Breathe in my absolute peace. The chains of that performance prison are breaking into pieces in this holy hour. If your spirit can feel the incredible freedom of this truth, raise your voice in the unseen realm. Type the phrase, "The chain breaks here," below to anchor your new identity and shatter his authority over your mind. Good. Now let us expose the second hidden mechanism that has kept your prayers bound in total confusion. I heard your silent prayers. You stopped praying them out loud. You were too tired of waiting. You watched other people receive the exact blessings that you had begged me for in your private tears, and you quietly sat in the dark wondering if I forgot your name. The adversary saw your deep disappointment, and he used it immediately. He built a wall of doubt. He targeted your faith. You thought my silence meant rejection. You told yourself that you were not holy enough, or perhaps you were not faithful enough to deserve my favor. My beloved child, that dark belief is a cruel thief that has been robbing your daily joy for too long. I am exposing its mechanical structure right now so you can be completely free. Hear my prophetic declaration. There is a massive difference between a delay that comes from my love and a delay that comes from the enemy's malice. My delay always carries a deep sense of quiet peace, even in the middle of the waiting season. His delay always brings confusion. His delay brings guilt. It brings deep shame. It paralyzes your movement. What you have been feeling during these silent years is not my rejection at all. The adversary has been whispering a false meaning into my holy quietness. I call this the stolen meaning because it is how he twists my care into a dangerous weapon. The silence you perceived as my total absence was actually the sound of my hands working behind closed doors. I was rearranging complex circumstances that your human eyes could not yet see. I delayed your steps because I was protecting your fragile soul from a premature victory that would have broken your destiny completely. Trust my timing today. Hear my voice. The long waiting season is officially over. The tight walls of your private prison are crumbling down at my supreme command. I am declaring a magnificent reversal over your entire family bloodline right now. You are the exact child I chose to walk out of the dark pattern that has bound your ancestors for decades. The persistent lack and the continuous misfortune end with your trembling obedience today. The enemy has no more legal authority over your mind. You are no longer a hidden survivor because you are a victorious conqueror. Stand up and receive the majestic inheritance that I have guarded for your life since the foundation of the world. I have gifted humanity the true wisdom to unlock my secrets. I placed this power within sound. I hid it within the deep design of the human mind. Wise men and women spent many years in intensive research, and they did not know it was my spirit that directed their curiosity toward what I already created. I guided their hands to discover the childlike frequency. I quietly directed their science toward my creation. This happened from the very beginning of time. I want to show you two of my precious children who received this sacred provision before you arrived here. Let us look at my beloved daughter named Rachel. She was a faithful nurse from California. She sought my deep peace for many years. She used sincere prayers. She tried different earthly methods, but her mind remained completely congested by the constant static of her daily environment, and she felt entirely hopeless. 2 weeks after receiving this sound provision, her entire marriage was beautifully transformed. Her professional learning became completely effortless. She described her life as a peaceful story because something massive cleared from her thoughts. She said the channel was blocked and now it is open. And for others, I moved differently. Let me tell you what I did for one of my beloved sons named Michael, who lived in Dallas, Texas. He came to this sound provision for deep focus. He wanted divine protection for his young children. 2 months later, his business grew enough to leave his exhausting job. His wife said his mind seemed completely transformed. The hard problems that used to steal his precious sleep began to solve themselves while he rested peacefully in my presence. He felt a total shift. He knew his brain was finally running on the exact signal it was always designed to use from the beginning. Over 18,000 of my children have received this provision before you arrived here. They are living evidence of my work on this earth. They call this frequency tool the Genius Song. It is a divine instrument. I place this sound provision on your path for your complete restoration. This is not a standard meditation app, and it is not a generic frequency that you can find on music streaming platforms, because those are cheap imitations. They carry none of the heavy power that I designed for your breakthrough. It requires only one thing. It requires 7 minutes of complete surrender every single day. You simply place your headphones on your ears. You close your eyes in a quiet room. You do not have to work. You allow the holy signal to restore the childlike gamma frequency that I designed for your divine receptivity from the very beginning. It clears the enemy noise from your mind so my provisions become recognizable again. It reactivates the sacred channel through which your deepest prayers are answered. It returns your mind to the state of a child. This unique provision is not for those who are merely curious, but it is reserved specifically for the chosen soul I am speaking to right now. Your secret pain is the exact condition that this provision was built to address. I am speaking directly to the exhausted warrior who has fought so hard alone, and to my child who has already tried everything and feels embarrassed to try once more. Hear my voice. What failed you in the past required your intense human effort, but this requires absolutely none of your strength. I designed it to work because of my perfect design in you, not because of your human discipline. Earthly experts charge hundreds of dollars for private sessions. They use heavy machines that cost thousands of dollars. But I do not call you to expensive clinics. I place this provision within reach specifically for the one who would receive it through a message like this one. This is a small earthly exchange. It is the size of a mustard seed of investment. It will unlock the massive harvest I have prepared for your destiny. Walk forward in trust. And I have aligned 4 additional bonus provisions as gifts for your journey. I extend a gift called Genius Child for your children focus and confidence, because I care for your family line. You will also receive the original prosperity text that wise men use to unlock abundance. You will receive a guided visualization from a trusted voice. And you will receive a daily habits infographic to sustain the restored signal. These additional provisions are completely yours to keep as evidence of my care. Where I place truth, the adversary always places imitation. He tries to steal your blessings through deception because he hates your new freedom. There are false frequencies circulating on streaming platforms under similar names, but they carry absolutely none of the divine restoration that I designed for your thoughts. Protect your spirit by trusting only the official path. Use only the verified source that I have provided below in the pinned comment. I do not lead my children into worldly risk. This provision is fully secured and protected for 60 days, and you will lose absolutely nothing during this step of faith. My promise of safety is absolute. You are completely covered. Take this step of obedience right now. Receive the beautiful provision that I have placed for you below, because it is your direct path to restoration. Find the path in the pinned comment and in the description. This is your divine invitation to step out of the noise. Do not ignore the tool that I have set before your eyes. Now, my beloved child, set aside the heavy noise of decision for a brief moment because you are safe with me. I have shown you what I placed on your path today. Whether you step forward now or later, you are still my chosen heir. Close your eyes for a brief moment. Breathe in my presence. I am still right here beside you while the heavy storm of the world completely disappears from your view. I am speaking a holy blessing over your next steps. The heavy exhaustion is vanishing. The weight that sat on your shoulders is disappearing into the light. You are a vessel, fully restored to receive all the beautiful promises that I prepared for you from the beginning. You are the one whose channel is completely clear and whose signal is strong. You carry the frequency I placed in you from the beginning. It was never lost. It is completely restored. You are my child, operating at the exact state I designed for your spirit because you have returned to my presence. You are open, clear, and fully receptive. The noise of the enemy no longer has dominion over your mind. You receive in peace. You are the one who became like a child and received the grand promises that were made to my children from the beginning. Walk forward in my perfect calm. If this message spoke to your spirit, do not let it pass without a response. Respond to my voice today. Choose trust over fear. Like this video as an act of absolute agreement between your heart and mine. Share this message with 3 souls who are secretly crying out for hope because they need my comfort in the dark. Bring them my comfort and subscribe to this channel so you do not miss my daily guidance for your next steps. Turn on the notification bell to stay connected to my presence. I walk with you always. I protect your going out and your coming in because I have committed my heavenly host to guard your path forever. Rest in my love. Peace be with your soul today and forever. Amen.